Hi, my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. We are on week 3 of the Christmas time mystery with the Fat Quarter Shop. It's a really cute one. And I have a bunch of other things, including one really big thing at the end. So, okay, let's first do the Christmas time and then we'll talk about the other stuff. So the next block is Christmas cards. So there they are. They are so darling. And here are my Christmas cards. So I mimicked pretty much the coloration that they did, and I'm going to sort of walk through how I did this and give you a little tips about reading patterns, a little bit about how you can increase your knowledge if you are sort of new to pattern reading, and how to make some adjustments for different techniques. So let's go to the other side. Well, let's take a look at what fabrics I could have used for Christmas cards. So it's pretty fun to do this. I'm using that pale pink background. Here are the blocks so far while I'm opening the case up. So you can see that pale pink is not really distracting, at least for me. I think it's almost like looking at an off-white because it's just super pale. Here is what it is outside of the block. It's just a gorgeous color. Okay, what do we have? Now the cards that were done for the pattern are white based. So see, they're very light, and then you can see how they did red for 2 of them and green for 2 of them. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that same philosophy. Do you watch Hogan's Heroes? That was Schultz philosophy. Okay. What are we going to do? We already have some picked. Well, let's pick the lights, because you know we haven't used the lights, and I actually was not thinking of using the lights, but we're going to, because I do like the way that it looks on here with the light card, and then the flying geese images really pop, and also the dimension of the card being open really pops. So we are going to stay in that theme. So I have 2 that are, there's 4 cards, so I could do 4 different fabrics, or I could do, which is what they did in theirs, Fat Quarter Shop, or I could just do 3 different, 2 different fabrics and make 2 each the same. So let's take a look what I have. Definitely do not want this one. I'm not going to use the white. That is a sort of tone on tone. Well, there's a dot in it actually, but that is just not going to be it's going to read solid. And this one's going to read pretty solid as well, but we'll see. Okay, so that would leave us, if we did 4, I could do, I don't want 2 candy canes because they kind of look like the same, right? I could do just a red candy cane, because then it could have green in it. And what's nice here, like I have this mix now, so 2 of them have sort of a open pattern with a little bit chunkier image, and 2 of them are a lighter image, either these tiny little stars or the candy cane. So I'm liking that. I think that'll work. So that just means 2 of them I didn't use. Now I know I'm going to do green on this guy, and because these geese in here are going to be fairly small, I want to use something that reads really tonal. So luckily for the green, I have either this, or I could use the dots. So that one I think also would read, see it's on top there. If I did the greens on these 2, on the lighter patterned ones, I could also do this green on here and this green on here. They don't have to be the same. So what do we have for red that's a similar feel? Of course, we have that little star again, and that would be good for either one of these. Because of the amount of pattern, you want to be sure you really see that. Then there's the dot, and so I could do one with dots, one with the little stars. So I could make them all just a tiny bit different, or I could go with just those 2, or just these 2. Decisions. That's so hard. Okay. Now the back side of this, the sort of flap of the card is, let's see, that's a 2.5-inch square. So that's kind of a substantial thing. So you can actually, will be able to see the image. So let's go with the dots. Let's just do it. Let's do the dots. Okay, so I'll have green for these two fabrics, the candy cane and the stars, and the dot for the ones with the chunkier images of the Santas and the ornaments. And I'm going to cut these up, and then I want to talk a little bit about the flying geese. Being organized and marking things and adjusting a pattern just a little bit for using a different technique are what I want to talk about before I sew. I've got the design board here with everything cut, and let me just point out a few different things. The little markers are these wonderful alphabetties that the Fat Quarter Shop has, and of course they had a holiday one. They still have these. They were, I think, with one of the Christmas boxes last year, and so you can still buy them. They're so cute. They have other cute ones like this. Look at that. Ah. So cute. Okay, I digress. Here we go. So what we have is all the units. I've got the pink, but what I'm going to do again is the flying geese papers, because I like these papers for small flying geese. And people always are asking me, well, what size do I get? It's like, well, you can read the pattern. It tells you exactly what size you need. And I'm going to show you here how you can do this. And then once you learn this kind of a thing, you can just easily go and get anything you need in order to convert. You could use different kind of papers. You could use different techniques. All you need to know is a size. So look in your pattern. This is the flying geese, and it tells you here your flying geese unit should measure 1.5 by 2.5. So that is the unfinished size, 1.5 by 2.5. You remove the 1/2 inches, it's a 1 by 2 flying geese. So what you're going to do if you're using a different technique, whatever it is, because there's lots of techniques for flying geese, you're looking to do a finished 1 by 2. And you can verify the unfinished size right down there at the bottom. So it says 1.5 by 2.5. And there, for any pattern, for any technique, for anything that you're doing, if you're converting to a technique different, you need the finished or the unfinished size, one or the other. It doesn't matter as long as you know what it is you're looking at. This says it is as you're sewing it, it's going to be 1.5 by 2.5. So that's the paper that you need. Now, the next thing is I would have to adjust my cutting, because when I'm cutting for these, I'm cutting a different size for the flying geese unit and the squares. So that's F and I. These two units will be cut using the directions for the papers instead of the directions for sew and flip, which are in the pattern. So those are the only changes I did. I'm making the exact same end unit. I'm just using a different method. Okay, the other thing I wanted to point out is that on these little cards, if you have a directional fabric, you might want to think about that. My one fabric that's quite directional is the ornaments. So I decided, this way. So I decided I didn't want ornaments going some sideways and some the correct way of the pattern. So that meant that the side units were cut this direction so that they would be top side is top side, and then the horizontal I had to cut lengthwise. But one of the things I noticed is like this one, I cut it and I've only got half ornaments, half on top, half on the bottom. I have enough of this fabric. I can cut it properly. So I recut. Let's come in here just for a second. Move that. So I cut a few of these to get two of them. Like these actually, this was actually a unit. I cut this out and then just cut it in half. But you can see this one here, when I put the seam allowances under, it's not going to really have ornaments. It's just going to have tops and bottoms. So now I have some that will have more of the ornament showing. And you could actually fussy cut this quite well, I think, to get an ornament exactly centered. I might just go back and do that. It's only one card. I only need two of these. So I think I'm going to go cut some that get that ornament like right in the center for the card. Now I'm ready to sew the flying geese. If you are wanting step-by-step directions, Kimberly at the Fat Quarter Shop is doing them for the pattern on her YouTube channel. And I also walked through me doing the flying geese. They also have these flying geese. It's the Fat Quarter Shop's papers. You can see a step-by-step tutorial on how to do these at their website. So I will let you go and watch those if you need them. So now I'm going to cut out a more fussy cut, and then I will sew it up. So originally I wasn't going to do the white cards, but then I thought, I kind of like that look. I like the cards being white, and the dots, if you want them to read more solid, then use that other star fabric, because that will definitely read more solid, particularly with these ones that have a lot of other pattern on them. So, but I like the dots, so I'm really happy I used them. Now my design wall is really bare, isn't it? Look at this, not much up there for this guy. We have one more block, because remember, this is a fairly small sew along. It's just the 4 blocks, although they are packed with sewing, if you know what I mean. So you will have no worry of being bored with this. I am going to maybe do a checkerboard, the squares around the outside of it when it's done. This sort of ends with the 4th block, and then you have a really simple layout for it. But it doesn't have sort of any extra border feature. But I'm thinking I might cut up the reds and greens and the pink that I have left and make a checkerboard around it. So we'll see. We'll see when we get to the layout and what I decide if I want to keep working on it. Is really what it turns out. Okay, a couple other things. You did fantastic shares with your family heirloom quilts. Oh my goodness, the quilts were gorgeous, and the stories and the memories you shared were amazing. So if you didn't go check out the Facebook group Quilt Along with Pat Sloan, go over there and look at the photos. Just thank you so much, everybody, for sharing your family quilts. We just love that kind of thing. I love it. All right, couple other things. My radish. A few of you have written me about the radish that you think it's a turnip. Well, maybe it is a turnip. Here's the piece of fabric that Karen sent me, so you can see them there. And I looked up turnip because, when the designer did this, she's not coloring this as perfection, because there's pink, I think, cherry tomatoes there. But turnips are not something that even pops into my head as a vegetable, ever. And so when I look at this, it looks like a radish to me, because I don't think about it being purple and white, which is actually seems to be turnip colors. So if you prefer to think of it as a radish like I do, I think that's perfectly fine. And if you want to call it a turnip, go right ahead. But I just thought I'd bring that up. Okay, oh, I forgot to say, on the Christmas, we have the cross stitch. So I have almost gotten last week's done, and then now here is an image that is the next part, week 3. So it's got the words. Now all I have to do is get that other half of the mitten done. So I've got the top mitten, and got the top mitten, just need to get the bottom of the mitten. So I think I'm good. I think I'll be able to get that done pretty easily. So another little project that I've been doing, not so much a project, but something, I don't know if you do this, but I've talked about it before. When I spent the whole 2021 doing all the crumb blocks, I really did enjoy that, taking those little pieces and sewing them up. And so occasionally I've been taking pieces to sew up into squares from the selvages that you're sending, because they have really cute images, and sort of got me started with the frog. So I love the little frog, and I thought this is too small for the selvage quilt. I mean, I could save it, but it's probably going to get, lost in space. So I thought I can get it into the aqua quilt, the 2.5-inch square. So I looked around, I had some other pieces, and I will just sort of sew. I will sew the triangle to the top like this, and then sew this to the side and that to the side, and then cut a 2.5-inch square from it, and it can go in the aqua quilt. And the same thing here. Look at the little paw prints, and there were some little animals. And so I will once again just sew this pink piece to the top. It's not the exact same color, but it's close. And then sew that to the side like that. So I'm going to build those two, and they will go into things. All right, I've got a mail call. This is from Sandy in Kansas. So sweet. She sent me a Halloween card. Look at this with the Spidey there. So gorgeous. Look at that chandelier. Yeah. And a wonderful Starbucks card, plus a little something else. She added in some selvages. So I've got some great ones. Let's go say baby boy on there. Cute, cute. Some aqua fabric. Nice. Nice chunks of it. So I can cut up some more squares. Have a little bit more variety. It's all about the variety with the aqua. And I love it. Candy corn. I know. I am a lover of candy corn. And I know some of you don't even eat sweets. We don't want to hear about it. If you don't eat sweets, we don't need to know. And if you don't like candy corn, I don't need to know that either. So this is amazing. It also says it's healthy because it's made with real honey. Yeah. Yeah, I know. So you guys take care of me. I don't even have to worry about it. Oh, let me see. Am I missing something? Yes, 2 things. And then we'll go to... And then we had the big thing. Okay, it's Scarf Day. We're celebrating wearing scarves. I can't wait to wear scarves. You know, I had one on the other day, that black and white polka dot one, which is my all-time favorite scarf, which I bought years and years ago, and I don't even know where. It may have come from Target or Kohl's, you know, who knows. But I need to get a couple of new ones, I think, to a little bit different weights, and some of them are wearing out a bit, like because I wear them a lot, but I can't wait to wear scarves again. Okay, and the other thing, it is... I put in the rotation every month for us to do a share. And why I put it on today? Oh, I know, because I didn't have the Christmas. When I did the calendar, I didn't know what day the Christmas time would be. So I had it on for today to share a fall table runner. So I have one to share with you. It's basically, this is how you can handle all the things that you own, all the designs that you own. I took the apple block from my farmer's market quilt in my applique book. I made 3 of them and then just stick a quilt block on either end. I actually taught this as a workshop for the Baby Lock dealers a couple years ago. And so it was with my Bonnie Lane fabric, and it was my line from Benertex. And so I thought, oh, I've got to get that out. So share one of your table runners today that is fall oriented, fall colors, fall images, something like that. All right. And today, the angels sing, we have gotten to, ta-da, the 85,000. So we've hit 85,000. We actually hit that number on Saturday. And I got a text message from our ambassador, Bobby, going, look, look, look. So it's very, very exciting. So remember, every 5,000 new subscribers until we get to like 102, I will be giving away a quilt. And so my quilt, and you have to be a subscriber, and you have to then do something else. But here's the quilt I'm giving away. Ta-da! And it's with my birdsong fabric, and this is one of the patterns from my my table runner book, from the table runner book. Here's the backing that I used. And it also has the little, I did the little mug rug and hand big stitched it. So that will come along. So what do? If you have to be sure you're a subscriber, because I know some of you who watch are not subscribed yet. So you have to subscribe, because I'm going to check that. And then you go to my website today. Link is here, and this is where you subscribe as well. The link is here below and in the email you'll get today if you're signed up for my emails. And you will answer the question over at my website. So at my website, we are going to celebrate 85,000 so that one of you will get one of my quilts. And then the next quilt will go out at 90,000. So in a few days or something, I'll pick a quilt and show you what that one will be, and then show it to you until we hit that next milestone. So this is super exciting. I really appreciate it. If you love my videos, I hope that you tell your other quilt friends to come and watch. I would love to have more people hanging out. It's just a lot of fun and a great community. All right, my friend, you are going to make greeting cards today. Do you save your Christmas cards? I love sitting them up. Like, I have them all out at Christmas time. They're so pretty. So we're doing greeting cards today for our mystery, our Christmas mystery. So thank you for being in the Sloan Zone. I love you. Mwah. See you online.